The night sky above the human colony on Vega 9 shimmered like liquid glass. Neon lights from the trade market painted the dust in blue and gold. Among the noise of traders, engines, and alien chatter, one small voice whispered, trembling and scared. "Please, take my toys," said a tiny alien girl. Her hands shook as she held a small box filled with old metal figures, scratched, rusted, and broken. Ethan Cross, a human engineer, stopped walking. He had just finished another long day fixing mining drones and wanted only to go home. But something about that voice made him turn. The girl was small, her skin pale silver, her eyes wide like twin moons. She wore a torn blanket instead of clothes. Around her, everyone passed by, ignoring her as if she didn't exist. Ethan crouched down. "Hey, are you lost?" The girl shook her head. "No, I'm trying to sell my toys," he frowned. "Why?" Her small fingers clutched the box tighter. "I need medicine. For my mother. She's sick. Please, sir, I'll give you everything. I just need enough credits." Ethan's heart tightened. She couldn't be older than 6 or 7 in human years. Her voice was tired, but her eyes were full of desperate hope. He looked inside the box. There were a few mechanical toys, tiny robots shaped like animals. Some had broken eyes, others missing legs. But when she pressed a small button on one, the toy flickered, projecting a weak hologram, a tiny bird fluttering above her hand. "That's beautiful," Ethan said softly. She smiled for a second, then her face fell again. "They were my father's. He said he'd fix them one day, but he never came back from the mines." Ethan froze. The mines. Everyone in the colony knew the risks. Radiation leaks, cave-ins, toxic air. Humans and aliens worked side by side there, but few made it out alive. He felt a lump in his throat. "What's your name?" "Lyra," she whispered. "Lyra. Where's your mother now?" "At home," she said. "In the old quarter. She can't breathe without medicine. The shopkeeper said it cost 20 credits. "I only have 5, her voice cracked. "Please take the toys. They're all I have." Ethan reached into his pocket, feeling the few credits he had left. He wasn't rich, just a repairman trying to survive. But as he looked at the little alien girl in front of him, shaking in the cold neon light, something deep inside him stirred. A memory of his own sister dying back on Earth when they couldn't afford treatment. He sighed. "Keep your toys, Lyra. Come on, I'll get you the medicine." Her eyes widened. "You will?" "Yes, let's go." She smiled weakly, and together they walked through the crowded market. Vendors shouted in alien tongues, drones buzzed overhead, and neon signs flickered like stars. But as they passed one dark alley, Ethan noticed something strange. 2 cloaked figures watching them, their faces hidden, their movements silent. When he turned his head, they vanished into the shadows. He frowned but said nothing. When they reached the pharmacy dome, the air inside smelled of chemicals and light oil. The alien pharmacist, a tall insectoid being, looked at Lyra with disgust. "You again? I told you, no more begging here." Ethan stepped forward. "I'll pay for the medicine." The pharmacist blinked in surprise. "You, a human?" "Yes," Ethan said firmly. "Give her what she needs." The alien hesitated, then nodded. He placed a small blue vial on the counter. 20 credits. Ethan scanned his wrist chip, watching the number drop to 0. The medicine glowed faintly in his hand, like liquid light. He turned to Lyra. "Here. Take it to your mother." She clutched the vial to her chest, tears shining in her silver eyes. "Thank you, sir. You saved her." But before Ethan could reply, a deep alarm blared through the streets outside, a cold metallic sound that made the air vibrate. Everyone in the pharmacy froze. "Radiation breach in mining sector 5, the loudspeaker announced. "All civilians evacuate immediately," Lyra gasped. "That's where my home is." Ethan's heart skipped a beat. "Sector 5? She nodded, panic flooding her voice. "My mother's there." Without thinking, Ethan grabbed her hand. "Come on." They ran into the streets, past crowds rushing the other way. Alarms flashed red through the sky and drones screamed overhead. Smoke rose in the distance. As they reached the border gate of Sector 5, guards were sealing it shut. "No entry," one shouted. "It's too dangerous." But Lyra pulled at Ethan's arm. "Please, she's in there." "My mother will die." Ethan looked at the terrified girl beside him, a stranger, an alien child, and something inside him snapped. He turned to the guard. "Open the gate." "I'm going in." The guard stared. "You'll die in there!" Ethan gritted his teeth. "Then I'll die trying." He lifted Lyra into his arms, the glowing vial tight in her hands, and ran straight into the red smoke as the gate slammed shut behind them. The wind inside Sector 5 was heavy and hot. The air tasted like metal. Red warning lights flashed on every wall, painting the cracked buildings in blood-colored shadows. Ethan held Lyra close to his chest as he pushed through the thick smoke. "Stay low," he said. "Don't breathe too deep." Lyra coughed, her small face pressed against his shoulder. "It's getting worse." "I can't see my house." Ethan looked around. The streets that once held laughter and light were now silent, filled with falling ash and sparks from broken power lines. A collapsed drone sparked nearby, its voice repeating a broken message. "Evacuate. Evacuate." He adjusted his mask and handed the small air filter from his tool belt to Lyra. "Here, put this on. It will help you breathe." The girl obeyed, her trembling hands clutching the blue medicine vial close to her heart. They moved between the ruins, following faint glows from broken street lamps. Every few steps the ground rumbled, distant explosions from the collapsing mine tunnels beneath their feet. "Where is your home?" Ethan asked. "Near the crystal well," Lyra said, pointing ahead, past the bridge. The bridge was half destroyed, its metal bones hanging over a glowing pit of toxic gas. Ethan stopped. "That thing won't hold." Lyra looked up at him, her eyes wide with fear. "Please, sir. It's the only way." He took a deep breath. "All right. Hold on tight." He stepped carefully onto the bridge, testing each piece of metal before moving forward. It groaned under his weight. Sparks flew. Below, a pool of green radiation shimmered like liquid fire. Halfway across, a loud crack split the air. The bridge began to give way. "Jump!" Ethan shouted. He pushed forward with all his strength, holding Lyra close as the bridge collapsed behind them. They hit the ground hard on the other side, rolling through the dust. For a moment, Ethan couldn't breathe. Then he heard Lyra's small voice. "I'm okay." He looked at her, bruised but alive. Relief washed over him, but only for a second. Because ahead, through the smoke, he saw movement. Figures, tall, dark, metallic, stepping from the haze. They weren't human. Their armor gleamed under the red light, eyes glowing white. A strange humming sound filled the air as they raised long rifles that pulsed with energy. Lyra gasped. "No, not them." Ethan crouched, pulling her behind a wall. "Who are they?" "They're the patrols," she whispered. "Not soldiers. Drones that protect the mining zone. But when the radiation alarm starts, they attack anyone still inside. To stop contamination." Ethan cursed under his breath. "Automated defense units." He peeked around the corner. 3 of the machines scanned the street, their sensors cutting through the smoke. "Stay quiet," he whispered. But then, a soft clink. Lyra's medicine vial slipped from her hand and rolled across the ground. The sound was small, but to the machines it was thunder. "Target detected," a metallic voice echoed. Blue lights flared. Energy bolts struck the wall beside them, throwing up clouds of dust. Ethan grabbed Lyra's hand and ran. "Go, run!" They dashed through the narrow alleys, jumping over debris as lasers sliced the air behind them. Ethan's lungs burned. His legs screamed. But he didn't stop. Ahead, an old service tunnel opened beneath a broken sign that read submine access. He dove inside, pulling the hatch shut just as another blast hit the door. For a moment there was silence, only the sound of their breathing. Ethan turned on his wrist light. The tunnel was narrow, lined with old pipes and flickering lights. "We'll rest here a minute." Lyra sat down, shaking. "I dropped the medicine." Ethan's chest tightened. "Where?" "Back there," she whispered, tears welling in her eyes. They'll destroy it, he thought fast. Going back was suicide. But without that vial, her mother would die. Ethan knelt in front of her. "Lyra, listen. I'll get it. You stay here. Don't move until I come back." Her eyes widened. "No, they'll kill you." "I've faced worse," he said, forcing a small smile. "Promise me you'll stay hidden." Lyra nodded weakly. Ethan turned and crawled out through a side hatch. The air outside was hotter now and the drones were closer. He kept low, using smoke for cover. Every sound, every spark could mean death. He spotted the vial, glowing faintly near a pile of rubble. But just as he reached for it, one of the drones turned its head. Ethan froze. The drone's white eyes locked onto him. Contamination risk detected. A flash of blue light burst from its weapon. Ethan rolled aside just in time. The blast hit the ground where he'd been, melting the metal. He fired back with his plasma cutter, hitting the drone's sensor. Sparks exploded as the machine staggered. He grabbed the vial and ran. 2 more drones turned toward him. Bolts of energy chased him through the ruins, each step a heartbeat from death. He dove into the tunnel just as the entrance exploded behind him. Fire roared. The tunnel lights flickered out. Lyra screamed, "Ethan!" He landed hard, clutching the medicine. His jacket was torn, his arm burned, but he was alive. He coughed and smiled weakly at her. "Told you. I'd get it," Lyra cried in relief, hugging him tightly. "Thank you." But then, from deep inside the tunnel, a faint mechanical hum echoed, not from the drones above. This one was different, older, deeper. Ethan frowned. "What is that?" Lyra's eyes went wide with fear. "That sound? It's coming from the ancient mines. They said something still lives down there." Ethan turned his light toward the dark tunnel ahead, and for a moment he thought he saw movement. Something big, something alive. The tunnel was silent except for the soft hum that came from deep below. Ethan's wrist light flickered weakly, casting moving shadows on the metal walls. Lyra held his arm tightly, her silver eyes wide with fear. "Stay behind me," Ethan said, raising his tool light. "We'll find another way out." But even as he spoke, the ground trembled beneath their feet. Dust fell from the ceiling, and an old mining drone, long dead, sparked to life for a second before collapsing again. Lyra whispered, "That sound. I heard it once before. When my father worked in the deep mines." Ethan turned to her. "Your father?" She nodded slowly. "He said something was sleeping down there. Something the miners were not supposed to wake." Ethan frowned. "Machines don't sleep, Lyra. Maybe it was just a story." But as he looked deeper into the tunnel, even he wasn't sure. The hum was getting louder now, a low vibration that seemed to come from the metal itself. They moved carefully through the dark passage. The air grew colder. Strange symbols glowed faintly on the walls, old alien markings half buried under layers of dust. Ethan brushed his fingers across one.
"These aren't from the mining company," he said quietly.
"They're much older." Lyra's voice trembled. "My father said this world had builders before us. They made machines with hearts." Ethan stopped walking. "Hearts?" She nodded. "Living energy. Not like batteries, more like souls." The idea sent a chill through him. He had worked with machines all his life, but the thought of one having a soul made his stomach twist. As they turned a corner, they saw it. A massive chamber hidden beneath the colony. The walls pulsed faintly, alive with light. In the center stood a machine unlike anything Ethan had ever seen. It was shaped like a creature, tall, thin, with arms that ended in smooth claws and a chest that glowed softly like a heartbeat. Lyra gasped. "That's it. The Guardian." Ethan's mouth went dry. "Guardian?" She nodded. "It protects the ancient power. My father said the miners tried to dig too deep. They wanted the energy source. But when they touched it, the Guardian woke up. And none of them came back." Ethan looked closer. The machine wasn't moving, but its chest light pulsed slowly, like it was breathing. He stepped forward. "It's beautiful. Don't touch it." Lyra cried, but it was too late. Ethan's wrist light flickered again, and the glow from the Guardian's chest responded. A soft hum filled the room. The symbols on the walls came alive, burning with blue light. Lyra grabbed his hand. "You woke it!" The machine's head turned slowly toward them. 2 bright eyes opened, white and endless. A voice deep and calm echoed through the chamber. "Human. Child of Earth. Why are you here?" Ethan froze. You can speak?" The Guardian tilted its head. "You entered the Forbidden Zone. This world's heart was sealed to protect life. Why did you break the seal?" Ethan swallowed hard. "We didn't mean to. We're just trying to save her mother. She's sick. We needed medicine." The machine was silent for a moment. Then its glowing eyes moved to Lyra. "You, of the Alaran kind. You carry his blood." Lyra's breath caught. "Whose?" "Your father," the Guardian said. "He came here years ago. He sought the same power that now burns this colony." Ethan frowned. "What do you mean?" The Guardian's chest pulsed brighter. "The miners took energy from the heart core, my source. Your father tried to stop them. He failed. The radiation you see now is the core leaking through the cracks. Soon this planet will die." Ethan felt the weight of the words hit him like stone. There must be a way to stop it. There is, said the Guardian. But it requires a bond, a life to repair a life. Lyra stepped forward. What does that mean? The Guardian looked down at her. Your kind once knew. Energy must return to balance. To heal the heart core, one must give their essence, their living code, to the machine. Ethan stared at the glowing figure. You mean, someone has to die? Not die, the Guardian said softly. Become part of me. Lyra's eyes filled with tears. My father. Did he become part of you? The Guardian's light dimmed for a moment. Yes. The silence that followed was heavy. Ethan felt his chest tighten. He looked at the little girl, trembling, lost, holding a vial of glowing medicine, and he knew she had already lost too much. He took a deep breath. If I can help, tell me how. The Guardian's eyes brightened. Human, your body is not made for fusion. But your machine, your mind, is strong. You could connect to the core through the neural bridge. Ethan didn't understand everything, but he knew one thing. He couldn't let this world burn, and he couldn't let this child lose another parent. Lyra shook her head. No, please. Don't leave me too. Ethan smiled sadly. I'm not leaving you, Lyra. I'm just going to fix what your father started. But before he could move, the ground trembled again, hard this time. The chamber lights flickered violently. The Guardian's voice grew loud. They are coming. Who? Ethan shouted. The Harvesters, said the Guardian. The company's soldiers. They seek the core's energy. If they reach this chamber, everything ends. Ethan looked toward the tunnel entrance. He could already hear the faint sound of approaching engines. He turned to Lyra. Run, find safety. I'll hold them off, but Lyra grabbed his arm. No, you promised my mother would live. You can't break your promise. Ethan looked into her eyes, full of tears and courage, and nodded slowly. Then we'll finish this together. The Guardian's chest glowed brighter. Then hurry, human. The core is waiting. As the walls began to shake and the sound of machines filled the tunnels, Ethan stepped toward the ancient heart of the planet, not knowing if he'd ever return. The ground shook like thunder beneath their feet. From the far tunnels, Ethan could hear the metallic march of approaching soldiers. Not human voices, but the synchronized steps of mechanical troops. The company had sent their enforcers. Lyra, stay behind me, he said, gripping his plasma cutter tight. The Guardian's voice echoed in the glowing chamber, deep and calm. They come for the core. Their greed will destroy this world. Ethan glanced at the giant machine. Then help me stop them. I cannot leave the chamber, the Guardian replied. My energy is bound here, but you can fight with my light. Before Ethan could ask what that meant, the Guardian's chest glowed brighter. A beam of light shot out and struck Ethan's wrist chip. His device sparked, then hummed with strange energy. What did you do? Ethan asked, startled. I've given you part of my code, the Guardian said. You can command the machines built by your kind, and theirs. Ethan looked down at his wrist. The small screen was now filled with alien symbols moving like living code. For the first time, he could feel the machines around him. Their energy, their signals, their fear. Use it wisely, the Guardian warned. But hurry. The soldiers are near. Ethan turned toward the tunnel. Blue light flashed in the smoke. Armored figures marching in formation, their rifles glowing with plasma energy. Target identified, one of them said in a cold, mechanical tone. Unauthorized human detected, eliminate. Ethan took a deep breath. Come on then, he raised his wrist. The symbols flared to life. For a second, the soldiers paused, confused. And then Ethan sent the command pulsing through the air. Reprogram. One of the soldiers froze. Its glowing eyes flickered. Then suddenly it turned on its own unit, firing wild plasma bolts. The tunnel exploded in chaos. Lyra, stay back, Ethan shouted. He moved like a storm, not trained for war, but driven by something stronger, the will to protect. He ducked behind fallen stone, fired his plasma cutter, and hacked into their circuits through his wrist chip. Every hit, every command turned the machines against each other, but there were too many. For everyone he stopped, 3 more marched in. The air filled with the scream of plasma fire and the metallic smell of burning steel. Lyra covered her ears, tears streaming down her face. Ethan. He turned, panting, sweat and soot on his face. Get behind the Guardian, go. The Guardian's light expanded, forming a glowing shield that shimmered like glass. Lyra ran behind it as another explosion shook the chamber. The Guardian spoke again. "The core is weakening. If the chamber collapses, all will perish," Ethan shouted over the noise. "Then how do we fix it?" The Guardian paused. "The heart core lies beneath me. It needs a living signal, a bridge to stabilize it." Ethan understood. "You mean me?" The Guardian's light dimmed slightly as if in sorrow. "Yes, you carry the code now. Only a human mind can link with the system that caused the damage." Ethan's eyes flicked toward Lyra, the little girl clutching the medicine, trembling behind the glowing shield. "If I connect, will I survive?" "There is a chance," the Guardian said. "But once the process begins, you must not disconnect, or the core will consume you." Ethan smiled bitterly. "Story of my life." He ducked another blast, ran forward, and slid beside the Guardian's chest. "Tell me what to do." The Guardian opened its arms. "Place your hand here." Ethan pressed his palm against the glowing surface. Instantly, light surged through his veins. His mind exploded with images. Cities, stars, oceans of data, the memories of the machine world. He could see everything the Guardian saw, feel every tremor of the planet. Lyra watched in awe. Ethan's body glowed faintly, his eyes turning silver like hers. Inside his mind, voices whispered, memories of the builders, of the miners, of Lyra's father. He saw the moment her father tried to shut the core down but failed. He saw the soldiers taking the energy, draining it until it cracked. Ethan gritted his teeth. Not again. He pushed harder, sending his consciousness deeper into the core. Energy surged through him. The planet's pulse slowed, then steadied. But outside, the soldiers kept coming. The last of them broke through the Guardian's defense, firing into the chamber. One bolt struck Ethan's side. He cried out but didn't let go. Lyra screamed. "Stop, you're hurting him!" The Guardian roared in a sound like 1,000 storms. A wave of blue energy burst from its body, throwing the soldiers back into the tunnels. But the damage was done. Ethan was pale, shaking, his breathing shallow. Still he didn't stop, almost, "There," he whispered. Lyra ran to his side. "Please, you'll die." He looked at her with a weak smile. "I told you. I'd keep my promise," the Guardian's voice softened. "He is close." The core stabilizes, but suddenly, from the tunnel above, a new sound echoed. A sharp whine like a blade cutting air. A ship. The roof cracked open as a corporate dropship descended. Its metal claws dug into the stone. A deep voice shouted through a speaker, "Step away from the core. This energy belongs to the United Mining Authority." Ethan looked up, half-conscious. Soldiers rappelled down ropes, weapons ready. The commander's armor gleamed gold, his visor reflecting the Guardian's light. "Capture the human," he ordered. "Eliminate the machine and the alien child," Lyra screamed, shielding her eyes. The Guardian's glow began to fade, its energy spent protecting Ethan. Ethan clenched his teeth. "Not her." His wrist chip sparked again. One final surge of code burned through him, and the Guardian's energy joined his. The chamber erupted in blue light. The light filled the entire chamber, a blinding blue storm that swallowed everything. Metal melted, rock cracked, and the air hummed with strange energy. Lyra screamed, covering her face as the ground shook. The Guardian's massive body pulsed, its energy flowing straight into Ethan, who stood in the center of the storm. His body lifted slightly from the floor, surrounded by arcs of white light. The commander from the dropship raised his visor, shielding his eyes. "What in the void?" His soldiers stumbled backward as their weapons sparked and died. The blue light tore through their systems, disabling everything mechanical. When the light faded, Ethan stood still, smoke rising from his hands. His eyes glowed faint silver, just like Lyra's. His skin shimmered with faint energy lines, circuits that pulsed softly beneath the surface. Lyra ran to him, tears in her eyes. "Ethan, you're alive." He turned slowly toward her, his voice deeper now, echoing slightly as if another voice spoke with him. "I'm not sure what I am." The Guardian's voice echoed weakly from behind. "You are the bridge now, human and machine, effused by the core's light. You carry both souls." Ethan blinked, trying to steady his thoughts. He could feel everything. The heartbeat of the planet, the flow of energy beneath the surface, even the faint vibrations of the soldiers' weapons charging. The commander stepped forward, fury in his eyes. "This energy belongs to the company. You have no idea what power you've touched." Ethan looked up. "Power?" He clenched his glowing fist. You call it power. I call it life. Then you will die with it, the commander snarled, raising his plasma rifle. Before he could fire, Ethan moved, faster than he ever had before. In a blink, he stood beside the commander. The weapon melted in the man's hands. Ethan's voice was calm but cold. Leave this world. The commander backed away, terrified. You're not human. Ethan's glowing eyes flicked toward him. No, not anymore. But then the ground rumbled again. The Guardian's chest dimmed, its voice fading. Ethan, the core is not stable yet. My energy is nearly gone. Lyra clutched the glowing vial of medicine to her chest. You can't die. We still need you. The Guardian looked at her kindly. Little one, my time has passed. But the new Guardian stands before you. Ethan shook his head.
No, you can't leave.
I don't even know how to control this. The Guardian's body cracked, its metallic skin glowing brighter and brighter. You will learn. You are made of courage and heart. Lyra cried out as the Guardian's final light flowed into Ethan, merging with the energy inside him. The great machine fell silent, its massive body turning still as stone. Ethan knelt beside it, his glowing hand resting on the Guardian's chest. Rest, he whispered. I'll finish what you started. The soldiers, seeing the Guardian fall, opened fire again. Plasma bolts filled the air, but they never reached their target. The energy around Ethan flared, forming a shimmering shield. The blasts bounced harmlessly away, striking the stone walls. Ethan raised his arm. I said leave. With a wave of his hand, the energy pulsed outward like a storm. The soldiers were thrown backward, their armor sparking. The commander screamed as his dropship lifted off, retreating in panic. The noise faded. The chamber went quiet except for the soft hum of the core below. Lyra stepped closer, eyes wide. Ethan, what happened to you? He looked at his hands, faintly transparent, glowing with the same blue as the Guardian's light. I think it shared its essence with me. I can feel the core inside me now, its pain, its pulse. It's alive. She touched his arm gently. Will it die? Not if I keep the balance, he said quietly. But I don't know how long I can hold it. Lyra frowned. You'll find a way. You always do. Her voice gave him strength. He smiled faintly. The first true smile since the chaos began. Then the floor cracked again, revealing a spiral of glowing crystal beneath the chamber. The light from below shimmered like water, and Ethan heard whispers in his head. Thousands of voices speaking as one. Guardian of the bridge, guide us. Ethan closed his eyes. They're calling me. Lyra looked around in confusion. Who's calling you? The core, Ethan said softly. The living code that runs this planet. It's awake now. And it's afraid. He turned to her. Lyra, you have to go. Take the medicine. Find your mother. Save her. This is what we came here for. Her eyes filled with tears. No, I'm not leaving you again. He placed a glowing hand on her shoulder. You have to live, Lyra. That's how you save both of us. The tunnel above began to collapse again as more explosions echoed from the surface. The company wasn't done. They had sent drones now, dozens of them flying through the smoke. Ethan looked up at the storm of machines. Looks like round 2. Lyra grabbed his arm. Ethan, please, he smiled gently. Go, your mother needs you. Lyra hesitated, then nodded, tears falling down her cheeks. She turned and ran through the tunnel, clutching the vial tightly. Ethan watched her disappear into the light, then turned toward the incoming swarm of drones. The core's voice filled his mind. Protect the heart. Protect life. He raised his hands, blue energy pulsing through his veins. The ground trembled. The drones fired, but every blast turned into light and vanished. Ethan shouted, his voice echoing like thunder. You took too much from this world. Now it's time to give back. The energy exploded outward, not destruction, but creation. The cracked walls repaired themselves, the tunnels sealed, and the planet's pulse grew steady again. When the light faded, the drones were gone, and Ethan stood alone, half human, half energy, surrounded by silence. He looked down at the Guardian's stone-like shell. I'll watch over them, I promise. The planet's light glowed softly beneath his feet, like a heartbeat. Smoke still filled the skies when Lyra ran through the ruined streets of Sector 5. Her small feet splashed through puddles of glowing dust. Every breath burned, but she didn't stop. She held the blue vial close to her heart like a piece of the sun. Hold on, Mama, she whispered. I'm coming. Behind her, the city groaned, the sound of broken metal and faraway explosions. The once busy colony was now a ghost town. Lights flickered weakly and the air smelled like burnt circuits. She turned a corner and saw her home, a small shelter made from old mining containers and crystal panels. The roof had half collapsed and the air inside shimmered with heat. "Mother," she cried, running through the broken door. The room was dim. A faint hum came from a cracked oxygen unit near the wall. In the corner, under a thin blanket, lay her mother, pale and still. Her silver skin had turned dull, her breathing shallow. Lyra fell to her knees beside her. "Mama, please wake up. I got the medicine." The woman's eyelids fluttered weakly. "Lyra, you came back." "Yes," Lyra said, tears filling her eyes. "A human helped me. His name is Ethan. He's brave, Mama. He fought the soldiers. He got hurt, but he saved me." Her mother's eyes opened a little wider, fear flashing across her face. "A human? Ethan Cross?" Lyra blinked. "You know him?" Her mother coughed, pain twisting her face. "The mines. The Guardian. They said one human tried to stop the company years ago. His name was Ethan Cross." Lyra shook her head quickly. "No, Mama, that can't be him. My Ethan is alive. He saved me." But she stopped. Her mother's gaze turned distant, sad. Sometimes the Corps brings souls back when it needs them. Lyra didn't understand. "Souls back? What do you mean?" Her mother touched her cheek weakly. "The Corps is alive, my child. It holds the memories of everyone who touched its energy. Your father, he became one with it." Lyra's voice trembled. "Papa?" Her mother nodded slowly. "He didn't die in the mines, Lyra. He became part of the Guardian." Lyra's heart thumped hard. "That means Papa was inside the machine?" "Yes," her mother whispered. "And now the Corps has chosen another. Ethan." Lyra froze. The room felt colder suddenly. "No, he said he'd come back." Her mother's voice softened, filled with both sorrow and pride. "He might, but not as you remember. The Corps changes those it touches." Lyra looked down at the glowing vial in her hands, and the liquid shimmered like starlight. "I need to help you first." She carefully poured a few drops into her mother's mouth. The woman's breathing steadied a little, her silver color returning faintly to her skin. "Thank you," her mother whispered. "You saved me." But outside the earth trembled again. The lights in the room flickered blue. A soft vibration filled the air. The same hum Lyra had heard in the tunnels. Her mother's eyes widened.
"He's reaching out to you? Who?"
"Ethan," her mother said. "His energy is calling. He's part of the Corps now, and something is wrong." Lyra clutched the blanket, scared. "He told me to run, Mama. He said I had to save you." Her mother struggled to sit up. "And you did, my brave girl. But now he needs you," Lyra shook her head. "I can't go back." "The soldiers." Her mother took her hand, pressing something small and metallic into her palm. It was a round data crystal glowing faintly blue. "Your father built this," she said. "It connects directly to the Corps. If the Guardian is breaking, this will stabilize it." Lyra stared at it. "But I don't know how to use it." Her mother smiled weakly. "You do, Lyra. You have his light." Before Lyra could answer, the ground shook harder. A deep rumble echoed across the colony. Through the broken window, she saw blue light shooting up from the ground in the distance, straight into the clouds. "Mama," she whispered, terrified. "What's happening?" "The Corps is opening," her mother said. "If the balance breaks again, the whole planet will die." Lyra stood, determination lighting her face. "Then I'll fix it." Her mother grabbed her wrist. "No, it's too dangerous." Lyra's eyes glistened. "Ethan saved me. Papa tried to save everyone. Now it's my turn." Her mother stared at her, fear and pride fighting inside her eyes. Finally, she nodded slowly. "Then take this." She removed the pendant from her neck, a small silver charm shaped like a circle with 3 stars. "It belonged to your father. It will help the Corps recognize you." Lyra put it on, feeling warmth spread through her chest. "Go, my child," her mother whispered. "And remember, the Corps listens to love more than fear." Lyra hugged her tightly one last time, tears running down her cheeks. "I'll come back, Mama, I promise." Then she turned and ran into the smoke again, her small figure disappearing through the ruined streets. The pendant glowed softly against her chest. The path back to the mines was darker now. The air buzzed with strange static. Sparks of blue light danced in the sky like falling stars. The world itself felt alive. restless. As she reached the edge of the old mining zone, she saw the ground split open, revealing a massive crater of light. From its center rose a figure, tall, glowing, and familiar. "Ethan," she whispered. He stood surrounded by a halo of energy, eyes closed, body flickering between solid and light. The core pulsed beneath him like a living heart. "Ethan," Lyra cried out. His eyes opened, glowing brighter than before. "Lyra, you shouldn't be here." She ran closer. "The core is breaking. Mama said I can help." He stared at her, a mix of awe and fear. "You have your father's light." Lyra lifted the data crystal in her hand. "Then let me use it together." The core rumbled again, waves of blue fire shooting upward. The world trembled as if alive. Ethan reached out a glowing hand. "Then come, Lyra. Let's finish this." She grabbed his hand, and the light swallowed them both. The world dissolved into light. For a moment there was no ground, no sky, only endless blue energy swirling around Lyra and Ethan like a living ocean. Lyra gasped, clutching Ethan's glowing hand. "Where are we?" Ethan looked around slowly. His voice echoed through the empty light. Inside the core. It was beautiful and terrifying. Giant rings of crystal floated around them, pulsing softly like breathing lungs. Streams of golden data flowed through the air, forming faces, people, machines, and memories from every age. Lyra stared in awe. "It's alive," Ethan nodded. "It's more than a machine. It's a living memory of this world." Suddenly a soft voice whispered through the light. Calm, ancient, and warm. "Welcome, child of the Illyrian. Welcome, human of the bridge." Lyra turned, searching for the source. A figure appeared, made of pure light, tall and graceful, neither man nor woman. Its eyes glowed like twin suns. "Who are you?" Ethan asked. "I am the core's consciousness," the voice said. "The sum of all souls who joined me, including the one you seek." Lyra's breath caught. "Papa." The figure turned toward her, and for a second the light took shape, a familiar face. A man with kind eyes, silver skin, and the same gentle smile she remembered from her dreams. "Lyra," he said softly. "My brave little star." Lyra ran forward, tears streaming down her face. "Papa, I thought you were gone." He smiled. "I am here, part of the world's heart now, and I've been watching you. You've grown strong." She hugged the glowing figure, though her hands passed through it like mist. "I missed you so much. I know," her father said gently. "But you're not alone anymore." Ethan stepped closer, emotion tightening his chest. "You tried to stop the miners, didn't you? You tried to save this place," Lyra's father nodded. "Yes, the humans wanted the core's power, but they didn't understand it. It isn't just energy, it's life. Every world in this system has one. They are connected like hearts in a body. When one dies, others weaken." Ethan looked around the glowing void. "Then how do we fix it?" "The core needs balance," her father said. "It needs two hearts, one human, one Illyrian, to guide it. One brings logic. The other brings emotion." Lyra frowned. "Two hearts?" He smiled sadly. "You and Ethan." Lyra looked up at Ethan, surprised. "Us?" Her father nodded. "You both carry the light now. But to heal the core, one of you must stay. The other must return to the surface." Lyra froze. "Stay? You mean forever?" The core's light dimmed softly. "If no one stays, the balance will break again. The world will fall apart." Ethan closed his eyes for a moment. He already knew what he had to do. "Then I'll stay." Lyra turned to him in shock. "No, you can't." Ethan smiled gently. "Lyra, this planet needs you. Your mother needs you. You can bring hope back to your people, me. I've got nothing left to go back to." She shook her head furiously. "That's not true. You have us. You're my friend, my family." He knelt down, resting a glowing hand on her shoulder. "You gave me something I lost a long time ago, purpose." Tears streamed down Lyra's face. "Please don't go." Ethan looked toward her father. "If I stay, she'll be safe?" Her father nodded. "Yes, the core will be stable and the radiation will fade. The surface will heal." Ethan looked back at Lyra. "Then that's enough." But Lyra suddenly held out the data crystal her mother gave her. "Wait, Papa said this could stabilize the core. What if we both give a little of our light? Maybe neither of us has to disappear." The core pulsed, thinking. A shared bond. Rare but possible. Ethan hesitated. "You think it'll work?" Lyra looked at him with determined eyes. "It has to. You said we'd finish this together." Ethan smiled. "All right, together." They stepped toward the core's glowing center, a massive sphere of light beating like a heart. Lyra held the data crystal high. Ethan placed his glowing hand over it. The light merged, swirling between them, weaving their energies together. The core's voice grew louder. Balance detected. Fusion sequence beginning. The energy surrounded them both, lifting them into the air. Streams of memory and light flowed into them. The laughter of miners, the songs of the Alaran, the whispers of stars. Lyra's heart pounded. "Ethan, I can feel everyone." He smiled, his voice echoing in her mind. "So can I. We're not alone, Lyra. None of us ever were." The core pulsed brighter, filling the void with blinding light. The cracks across the planet's surface began to heal. Radiation faded. The skies cleared. The colony lights flickered back to life. Then silence. When Lyra opened her eyes again, she was lying on soft grass, green for the first time on Vega 9. The sky was clear, the air clean. Birds, real ones, not machines, fluttered overhead. She sat up quickly. "Ethan?" No one answered. Only the wind whispered through the new world. She looked down at her hands and faintly glowing blue, and realized part of his energy still lived inside her. Around her neck, the pendant shimmered, and a familiar voice echoed softly in her mind. "You did it, Lyra. You saved them all." She smiled through her tears. "We did it, Ethan." She looked toward the horizon where the mines once stood, now a field of glowing crystals shaped like flowers. The planet was alive again, and somewhere beneath her feet the core pulsed gently, peaceful at last. Lyra stood, the wind brushing through her silver hair. "I'll keep your promise," she whispered. "I'll protect this world. For you." The pendant glowed brighter for a moment, when as if answering her. And above, in the clouds, for just a heartbeat, she thought she saw his face, smiling, proud and free.